was to please God. And all of their action was out of their relationship with God. They didn't eat out of instinct. They didn't eat out of hunger. They felt that everything they did that was physical in nature was done out of a relationship with God. That's what paradise is. You don't get hungry. I got to eat now because I'm hungry. I eat out of the will of God just flowing through me. I'm just in the garden doing whatever the will of God has made available, in that situation. So they're in that place of pure humanity, where motive exists only, and that motive is in a relationship with God only, or and you don't really have these lower ones. Those come later, as due to the intervention of certain other beings. And then there's this idea of wish. Now, wish is really where we begin. Wish is why you all are here. Wish is, I want to be better than I am. I want to achieve this level. Wish is that sense of that feeling, I want to be all I can be. I want to realize my potentiality. That's the level of wish. And so a lot of people just live out of motive, which is a human condition, but they don't live out of, there's no wish in their lives. They just can get up every day, do the work, get all their desires and their drives met, and that's enough. But others have this sense of wish, in their lives.
Quite get what motive is. Because it sounds like the person you're describing is operating kind of at the level of drive and desire. They get up, they do their thing, and they get their desires met.
To really survive as a human being, you need motive. Really means holding back your desires. So motive comes in the idea of delayed gratification. If you delay your gratification and do some other behavior that doesn't seem directly related to it, because I'm gonna go to college first, I'm gonna get this degree, and then I can get all my desires and drives met. So motive is that act of recognizing that I'm going to college. Why am I going to college is motive. My desire is not necessarily college. My desire is house, family, whatever it might be, food, and all those things. My motive, though, takes me to college.
Okay. It's a means.
And then wish takes us out of that simple, utilizing our motives to just get our desires and drives met. Wish takes us to the level of having a sense of our humanity being more than that, and wanting to use our capacities and resources to achieve that. One time I saw this, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of the movie. But in the movie, it's called Vision Quest. And it's about this young high school student who wants to wrestle at a different weight level. And so he has to go on it's a vision quest for him to achieve this weight loss in a way that still keeps his strength and body tone, so he can win this wrestling at this different level. And at one point in it, he lives in this, at one point he has to move out of his house because it's an abusive situation. He's living in this apartment. And there's a man it's the janitor at the school, and he's sort of deciding that, for reasons I won't go into, that he may not do the wrestling after all. And this janitor walks up to him and says, one time I was watching TV, and this is like an old white man, and I saw Pele, jump up and do some sort of flip and hit this soccer ball with the back of his foot and make this go. And he said, that was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And it made me proud to be a human. Telling this this young man that, there's a reason for that wish to achieve that sort of level of human expression. For all of us who don't really have that capacity, we know our humanity through that. So wish is that sort of thing. And then intention has to do with a little more broader thing, which doesn't in any way directly serve me. And it's not even about my being the best of anything, that I'm working on that intention. Intention in the sense that it's a concept or something that's outside of myself that I want to have achieved in the world, is when I'm working through when I'm bringing forth an intention. And resolve is almost really difficult to talk about because it's simply the condition in which all these others, it's an inner state that all these others flow out of. It's a state of intuition. You are now working on that level where you can say it's the will of God, or you can say that this is something that's going to unfold in the world. That's resolve. Stop there for a moment. Questions about that hierarchy of will.
Talked early on about where these reside, and there's what's in the etheric and what's in the
right. Are you familiar with the concepts all of spirit life, spirit man, those levels?
Well, I've read them.
That's a little bit of
I don't know that I quite know.
Yes, that's a different discussion we can have here. Those are
assuming that they correlated to those levels of meditation, right? Would there be the
right? When you talk about dhyana, and I told you there were these witnessing levels.
Right.
Those 3 witnessing levels in dhyana correspond to these. And I will talk maybe a little bit more about those later. Those aren't really, I mean, if we can achieve just the first witnessing level this lifetime, which is really to be able to witness ourselves with any kind of consistency, and not be our consciousness absorbed in our desires and our hungers and stuff like that, that's a pretty dramatic difference in your life. And those upper 2 levels of witnessing are a little bit more profound things. So with sin and grace, you have these 2 principles related to the hierarchy of will. And basically, as I say here, spiritual necessity is the activity required to dwell in the realm of spirit, and material necessity is the activity required to dwell in the realm of matter. And so the knowledge about our own actions and thoughts and whether or not they're taking us into the dwelling in the realm of matter or the dwelling in the realm of spirit is Nitti, to know what is not God, not allowing us to experience spiritual necessity, but it's driving us into material necessity. Now, if I hold back in these upper ones, if I hold back my intention, in these upper ones, you're in the spirit realm, and so your intention should exist in the spirit realm. In a sense, you should be carrying through the intention of, quote, God. And if I hold back my intention from the intention of God, I actually descend the hierarchy of will. And this is the example of Lucifer, which is one we know. Lucifer was in the realm of intention, dwelling as an angel and carrying out the intention of God. Lucifer held back his intention from the intention of God and descended into wish. And that wish was, of course, to be like unto God. Got him in a bunch of trouble. Michael kicked him out. And so he then had to dwell here without the necessary means to have much influence. Basically, Ahriman and Lucifer, the reason they're interested in us is because they don't have certain kind of presence, either an etheric or an astral body. I believe that Lucifer needs an etheric body to be able to work havoc in this realm. And I believe that Ahriman needs an astral body to be able to work havoc in this realm. There's a relationship like that where they've been cast out, but they don't have the proper resources to be able to work their will in this world, except through us. Says Evie has a nice spirit body. I try to work through that if I can convince her that I'm her friend, And Lucifer tried to do that, but says, Evie, you're such a great artist and a great water teacher. I can help you do better at it. Ahriman says, don't worry about getting the house, eating, whatever, I'm going to take care of that for you. So they each got a deal for you. As long as you wouldn't give over aspects of your being, that they would like to make use of.
I thought Lucifer would say, don't worry about those material needs. And
Lucifer is desire. Lucifer is the false light, knowledge, the false knowledge. Ahriman Ahriman, well, let me go back to Lucifer. Lucifer means light. It's the false light, the false passion. Lucifer is all about your passions, all about your wishes. And Lucifer wants to, and then Lucifer works through your desire. So Lucifer is at the level of wish and working through your desires in the world. And so Lucifer will satisfy your passions with false knowledge, convincing you that the knowledge is the way. So Lucifer basically comes in and says, okay, I've fallen, from the realm of intention to the realm of wish. You have, by virtue of natural development and holding back your will forces by grace, have developed to the level of motive. See, just by grace, just by being in the world, the whole way it's set up, if we hold back from that material necessity of instinct and drive, then we will, as soon as we hold back, then we experience the next level. That's how children develop. That's given to them by the laws that have been put into the world. That's grace. That's grace. So we will ascend into the realm of spiritual necessity by virtue of those moral acts of holding ourselves back. So if we do that, the world is set up so that the hand of spiritual necessity lifts you up every time you do that. So every time a child holds back their drive, they experience themselves developing into the realm of the astral. Every time they hold back from the astral, they experience developing into the world of ego. And as adults, we can continue the progress and hold back in the realm of motives and experience wish. Hold back in wish and experience pure intention. And hold back from that and experience ourselves, uniting again with the resolve of God. Simply by having that capacity to hold back, then more the truth of the world is revealed to us. That's by grace. So we only need Nitti, the capacity to recognize what takes us to a spiritual necessity, and then to hold our will and thoughts back in such a way that we can ascend that naturally. But obviously we know it's a lot more complicated because there are other forces in the world who are saying, God ain't everything. Lucifer saying, I have wisdom. I can lend that wisdom to you. Ahriman says, I have power. And that's what God has done. God has poured out wisdom and said, Lucifer, you can have it all. You can have all the knowledge. It's yours. Ahriman, you get to have all the power. You control all the consequences in the world. And God says, I'm just going to keep love for myself. And love just happens to overcome it all. So they got a raw deal, but they didn't know it. They thought they were getting what, would give them the resources to rule the world. And so, a lot of people will make a deal with Lucifer. I want to be a great musician. I want this knowledge. I want that knowledge. And Lucifer comes in and says, I can do it for you. And that's allowed. I can give you all wisdom. And then Ahriman, though, is a particularly unique being. You understand what Ahriman is? Ahriman, before there's creation, Ahriman exists in the resolve of God before creation. And since God says, let there be light in the darkness isn't aware of itself until God says, let there be light. And then Ahriman is created in that act. Ahriman is not of God, a creation of God. I know this is a hard ideal to get to, but Ahriman is the darkness, but the darkness that doesn't know itself except by virtue of creation. And once it knows itself, then it opposes the light. It opposes the light. But the being isn't a creation of God in a strict sense. And that's why it's kind of a strange thing, It's not beyond God, because without the creation, God's resolve rules. But once there's creation, then you have this being who is divorced from the resolve of God and has an intention to oppose creation. It's the shadow that's born with creation. And if you really look at the mythology, he talks about Ahriman imprisoning Sophia, who's the real source of wisdom. You know the concept of Sophia? The wisdom of the Trinity is supposed to be Sophia's. And Ahriman supposedly imprisoned Sophia at some point. And really the whole goal of Christ's descent is to rescue